Hello, brother, and welcome to this episode of the Empowered Man podcast. Today, we're going to be covering how to find balance in your life. What is up, legend? Welcome to the Empowered Man podcast, where we teach you how to reconnect with your wife while also having balance between business and the rest of your life. My name is Toni. I'm the founder of the Empowered Man movement, and it's time to take back your power. Work-life balance. And we're going to figure out how to do that by mentioning something called the key three. These are the key three areas every single modern day man must be in control of in order to find success in their life. So if you want to be more successful and if you want balance, then listen along, because this is going to be an extremely powerful coaching session on how to have it all in your life. Now, let's preface this once again with a story. I was grinding my ass off in business, as you know from the last episode. And because I dedicated all my time and energy into being successful, other areas of my life began to fall apart. Now, my background is as a personal trainer. I started doing coaching and fitness when I was 19 years old. I traveled on a cruise ship around the world, running my own business, speaking in front of thousands of people for live events and seminars. And I started off in the health industry because I had severe anxiety. Now, what I realized very, very quickly is that your health has a direct impact on your business. And your business has a direct impact on your relationship. And your relationship has a direct impact on your health. Everything is interconnected. For example, I could be having an extremely stressful day at work, and I could deal with that stress, and I could be a little bit triggered, but I would find a way to get through it. But if I had an argument with Rosie, my wife, I would take that pressure from that argument and I would sleep through the night thinking about it and dreaming about it. I'd wake up thinking about it, and then I'd take it into my workday. So even though my relationship wasn't my business, my relationship affected my business. And when I was stressed at business and I brought that stress home, that would cause me to argue with my wife. And when I was busy with business and always working, it meant I had no time. So I dropped my standards and I started working out less at the gym. I started eating shittier food, and I started drinking every single night to numb myself because I didn't want to deal with the pressure and the thoughts in my own head. Does this sound familiar? This is because as modern day men, we put all of our time and energy into one main bucket. And that bucket is our business. Because we've been told that it's a man's job to provide. We've been told that it's a man's job to put food on the table. Now, the business is one of three areas that we must be in control of. Now, most of us aren't even in control of the business. We work hard in the business and we grind, but if we're honest with ourselves, we're constantly stressed, we're constantly triggered, we're constantly dealing with challenges, we're constantly thinking about that next paycheck, we're constantly thinking about marketing and sales and teams, and we find it really difficult to switch off. But let's just say you're special and you have mastered your business and you've got no stress. Fantastic. If you have a business that is thriving and making money, but your relationship with your wife is falling apart or you're going through a divorce, it doesn't matter how successful your business is, the relationship is going to come and slowly burn the business to the ground. If your wife cheats on you, or if your children do not love you, or you cannot connect with them or communicate with them, it's directly going to impact the business, because the business is a byproduct of the success and happiness you have in your relationships, and vice versa. You can have an amazing marriage full of intimacy, love, and connection. Your wife and partner can give you blowjobs and you can get laid every single night. Your children can love you and appreciate you. But if you're constantly stressed and you can't switch off and you can't be present with your family, if you're lacking communication and you get angry and triggered at them and you take out your frustrations on them because your business is failing or stressful, then that's going to affect your relationships. So these are just two of the areas that most men need to be in control of. We have health, wealth, which is business or finances, and then relationships. And by the same vein, you can have an amazing relationship, a thriving business making lots of money, but if you're diagnosed with cancer, or if you have a heart attack, everything can be derailed in your life. This is exactly what happened to Steve Jobs. Millionaire, multimillionaire, got everything he would ever want, but then gets diagnosed with incurable cancer and dies from that same cancer. So as modern day men, one of the biggest challenges we have is finding balance between these areas. And the first fact to understand, the first truth to understand here is that there is no true balance. If we're chasing something that cannot exist, then by definition, we are doomed to fail. If we are chasing something that does not exist, that cannot exist, then by definition, we are doomed to fail. The first problem we face here when chasing work-life balance, the first problem we have is not realizing the truth that balance doesn't exist. What does exist is a seesaw that goes in multiple directions. There are going to be days where you must put in more time and energy into your business to fix the fires or the problems that exist. There are going to be days or weeks where your partner needs more love and support from you. And there's going to be days, weeks, or months where you got to go all in on your physical health and your mental health. But the first step is to really understand that when you have one of these areas lagging, everything else falls apart. They are interconnected. They are completely intertwined with one another. You cannot have a successful business long-term unless your relationships and your health are thriving. You cannot have a successful relationship unless you're in control of your wealth, your time, your stress, and your physical and mental health. And you cannot have amazing physical and mental health if you're constantly busy and stressed and arguing with your partner. So if you are trying to fix your marriage, grow your business, have more money, be more successful, which is ultimately the goal of being a modern day man, then unfortunately, or fortunately, depending on how you look at it, you got to work on all three areas at once. You got to work on your health, which is your body and your mind. Your body and your mind are connected. You've got to work on your relationship, which is the relationship with your family, your wife, your kids, but also the relationship with yourself. And you've got to work on your wealth, which is not just business, it's time management, it's managing teams, it's systemizing, delegating, and ultimately having control over that business so that it gives you freedom and choice instead of being a prison. One of the biggest challenges we have as men is we don't have clarity on this. We don't know where we're struggling, where we're lacking, where things are going well in our relationships, where things are not going well, where things are going well in our health, where things are not going well, and where things are not going well in our business and where things are going well. We don't have clarity on these things. In life, there are going to be buckets of health, wealth, and relationships, and there's going to be holes in that bucket. So if you feel like you should be further ahead, you feel like you should be doing better, you feel like you should have a better relationship, a better business, a better bank balance, a better body, then understand that it doesn't start with one thing. You got to have control over all three of these areas. And it's actually not that difficult to do. As you listen to this podcast and the show, you'll start to realize that you can have control over these areas, but it begins with getting to the truth. So the question for you today is, which one of these areas is your weakest and which one is your strongest? If you were to rank these from 1, 2 to 3, what's the number one area you have control over? Is it your health, physically and mentally? Is it your relationships with your partner, your kids, or yourself? Or is it your business with your money, your time, etc.? Or is it none of those things? The first step to change is bringing awareness and clarity to the truth of what's actually happening here, to the truth of where you are in each of these areas. So your action step for today's podcast or video, depending on if you're listening or watching, is to ask yourself a question. Where are my strengths in health, wealth, and relationships? Where are my weaknesses? There's also actually an assessment we have. We give it to our clients. If you'd like to get access to that, just go to theempoweredbusinessman.com/key3assessment. Key3assessment. I'll put it in the video notes and in the podcast notes as well. And you'll be able to rank yourself and get a score to score yourself in each of these areas. But my friend, understand that you got to be in control over all three of these areas to succeed. So ask yourself a question today. Where are your strengths? Where are your weaknesses in these three areas? And this will help you a lot with achieving balance, so you can have more success, not just in one area, but all three. What this will do for you, it will help you become a three-dimensional man instead of a one-dimensional man. Most men are successful in one area. We work hard, we grind. Unfortunately, that's not enough anymore. It's not enough to just grind like our fathers and grandfathers did. There is more to it. There is more to what it means to be a man. And we're going to cover that in the next episode, exactly what it means to be a man. So those are the key three areas: health, wealth, relationships. Where are your strengths? Where are your weaknesses? If you want to rate yourself, go to empoweredbusinessman.com/key3assessment and assess yourself in those areas. I'll see you for the next episode. Now it's time for you to get access to the action plan, personalized, customized coaching, and the exact strategy we've used to help over 500 men take back their power and take back control using the Empowered Man method. If you want to reignite the spark in your marriage, become a better father, and ultimately have it all in life, then go to empoweredbusinessman.com/group to join our free community. The link will be on the show notes, or just go to empoweredbusinessman.com/group right now to become a part of the Empowered Man movement.